Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to New York by Taylor Swift. Oh my god, we are officially in New York. I can't believe it. I'm in my new apartment here and I'm wearing my Cranberries t-shirt and I love it. And oh my god, there's just been so much going on. I'm gonna film a little life update video because it has been hectic. I had a week basically to move from Brighton to America, but I'm officially here. There's been so much going on. And first and foremost, I just cannot believe that we are a couple of days away from opening night of the Chronically online tour. We are opening in Brooklyn literally in a couple days. So if you have not gotten your tickets for Brooklyn, please, the link will be down below. I promise you it will be so much fun. Please come, please show out. I cannot wait to meet all the muckers. The link will be down below. Please come. I'm out here in New York. I'm ready. I'm waiting for next week. And also next week, we're doing Chicago, which is sold out, Seattle, LA, and Dallas, and then London and Dublin next month. If you're in any of these places, please click the ticket link down below. I cannot wait to meet all of you. I cannot believe it. It is so fun. Anyways, now that I'm out here living in New York, it's just so real. And it's terrifying and it's exciting. And also my Patreon is linked down below. I'm gonna be posting a bunch of stuff exclusively over there throughout the tour. I already have a bunch of exclusive videos over there already. If you wanna come and join, it is such a huge support of my channel. But anyways, today we are going to be covering the follow-up video from Kaylin. Now, we did a little two-parter on Kaylin, who was a member of 7 Supergirls. And wow, I cannot believe how many of you actually watched this channel. Like, I grew up watching 7 Supergirls. If you don't know what it is, you can go catch up with those videos. But it was these group of channels that were set up by this, like, 50-year-old creepy British man. And it was a bunch of American girls, and they would film a video every single week, every single day. And there would be different girls for different days, and he was really creepy. A lot got exposed in that two-parter. I will link that down below as well. But for today's video, we are gonna do the third and final video that Kaylin is making on this, which is answering all of your 7 Supergirls questions. I cannot wait to dive into this. Again, this is a piece of internet lore that I was a part of. Whenever I was a kid, I watched these videos, but obviously whenever I grew up, I realized that the core demographic for these videos were probably creepy old men, which we've talked about, we've ranted about. I'm just excited to get into this video. I hope you're all doing very well, and I cannot believe that tour is starting in a couple of days. I hope you're all making your friendship bracelets. I've made so many friendship bracelets to give to the muckers, so I just can't believe it. Please come. I cannot wait to see all of you, and let's get into it.
At the end of the day, a two-part, like almost 2-hour long 7 Supergirl story time, it just wasn't enough. You know, we have to do a Q&A
I love a 3-parter.
as well. Duh. You know, 2025 is the year of dropping lore. It's been all those years.
Yes.
It's been enough years to have a second grader. My lore is getting dropped. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna drop that. No, my lore. What was that? I don't know what that was. That was
the fact that Kaylin was one of the YouTubers that I grew up watching, and now I'm like rediscovering her and enjoying her content. This feels so full circle, and I'm here healing my inner child with this actually.
so weird. Did you guys see that? Thank you for all the support and nice comments on my 7 Supergirls storytime videos. You guys have been so positive and kind. I really appreciate it. If you haven't seen those, you can go watch those, and anything that I don't answer in this video is probably in those, which is why I'm making this video, because I'm gonna stop talking. Let's go. Question 1. Did you being number 1, quote unquote, affect your relationship with the other girls?
Now again, this was interesting that we discovered in her videos. So she was actually bullied a lot, and she opened up about that, but she was known as the it girl on these channels. She was the profile picture. She was always the one that got the most amount of views, but we ended up finding out that the creepy owner would use that against her. And to use that against a kid when you're making all the money off of them is just...
I don't think so. None of us really cared. Like, at least when I was on the channel, most of us didn't really care about the whole, like, ranking bullshit. We were all friends. That was like all
a bunch of kids too.
Ianism. Like, he was the only one who gave a shit about that. He tried so hard to pit us against each other, but none of us, it didn't really work.
Imagine being a 50-something-year-old man and pinning a bunch of children against each other. Like, what state of mind do you have to be in where that's what you want to do with your time? It also still really bothers me to this day that he set up these YouTube channels like, oh, I'm setting it up for my daughter. Creep. He also didn't get enough time in prison.
We were just like, okay.
Okay.
Did he make the characters anyone had? I don't recall anyone else having them because I
They all
mostly
had
watched
little
you,
characters.
but was your character Lucy his idea or did you make her up on your own? All my characters were made up by me. All the girls did have characters. I did a lot of like character-based videos though. I made up all my characters.
And I ate those up.
Or my mom made up some of them too because she would help me with scripts or ideas. Lucy was like inspired by like toddlers and tiaras. She actually went through like 7 different eras and I don't know how nobody ever noticed it because it started off as she was like a pageant princess and then she like was like a princess that lived in a castle and then she was like some like random kid that just like
Imagine being the 50-year-old man that's making all the money off of this.
stomped around. There definitely was a point though that I didn't want to play her anymore because it felt
Growing
very
up.
weird and creepy to be playing a child and like acting like that when I was 17. And so I was like really overplaying her at some point. And he did, when we were on trips, have the screenwriter that he hired to write our skits on our trips write Lucy into him past the point that I was like comfortable playing her. It must be hard having your past brought up all the time.
Also, really weird that he would force them to act younger than what they were. And they were 16 years old, but he wanted them to act like they were like 11 years old. Oh, but he would hide behind the sponsors. Now, someone did make a good point. I was like, there's no way YouTube sponsors would be forcing the kids to act in all these really weird, inappropriate ways or do all these, in my opinion, fetishes for him. And then people were like, Adam, the sponsors could have been actual sponsors, but they were creeps.
You should be really proud of yourself for telling your story. Is there a reason you decided to talk about all of this now? I know a couple years ago you refused to talk about it. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. I wanted to, I think I touched on this a little bit. I wanted to not talk about it so bad because I didn't want to be like known for it. I just like wanted it behind me. I wanted to be my own person. I wanted to create my own content. I wanted people to see me for me and not for 7 Supergirls. The best way to put something...
It must also be super restrictive to be known when you are between the age of like 10 and 16 and that follows you throughout your life. And again, this is why I preach that kids should not be posted on YouTube from the time that they are literally born. Shout out family vloggers. Because when they grow up and have a sense of identity, everyone will know them from the moment they came out of your... And it's just not right. We've got to create a reform with family channels. They should not be a thing. I don't know why it's taking so long. Eventually a huge lawsuit will happen and then it'll happen.
Behind you is to move forward from it. I don't think I ever moved forward from it. I just tried to kind of move away from it. I don't know if that makes any sense or sounds like super... I didn't try to move forward from it. I just tried to move away from it. But it's like, I don't know how else to explain it. I still want that, obviously. I want people to watch my videos now and like me now and not only go on and on about what I did in the past because I also get so many comments that are like, I miss the old Kaylin. But the old Kaylin is
was a kid.
13-year-old me, 15-year-old me. Obviously, I'm a very different person.
I also hate when YouTubers get that as a whole anyway. I miss the old you. And it's like, it's just such a weird thing to kind of box people into what you want them to be from a past version of themselves. Most of the time being from when they were kids, by the way.
From when I was 15 versus 24. I used to be so annoyed that
that
was like the only thing that I felt like I'd ever be known for. And I tried so hard to escape from it, if that makes sense. And then one day I just kind of realized I'm not ever going to, and I shouldn't escape from it because it is what made me who I am. And it is what gave me this platform. And I think now that it's all like out and I've talked about it in depth, I almost feel like I can actually move on, if that makes sense, and move forward and start doing my own thing because there's no more questions. I think that's why I've also gotten so many comments about it over the years is everyone had so many questions and rightfully so. But that's kind of where I'm at with it now. I want to move forward and I wanted to be able to move forward with like everything being out there because I feel like everyone who grew up with it and it was a part of their lives, they have the right to have those questions and they also have the right to know why this thing that they once loved ended and went.
But also spent their entire childhood being the prophet of. You know, they made this man so much money. They should be allowed to talk about it as much. And it's always the people that aren't involved in a situation will dictate when the people involved can talk about things until people are comfortable enough with it or over it. And I hate those kind of people.
So wrong. And I also feel like it's important to raise awareness about what dangerous of a place the internet can be. Moving on. I remember you had a gaming channel where you would post videos. You mentioned that you guys were not allowed to post anything on a personal channel. Did you ever get in trouble for posting on your gaming channel? That's a good question. So I don't know if I explained this super well, but he eventually made us completely stop posting on our personal channels. Any channel we had that was not...
Again, this is a very common tactic done by even the likes of companies or anything where they just don't want people to build a growing platform where the said person doesn't have the ability to make money off of it. And it's really scummy to do that to children when you are making so much profit off of them, because you're restricting their income solely to be that you are the only person that can give them a career or the only person that they can profit off of. And I don't know, doing this to kids seems really, really, really
Not 7 Supergirls, we were not allowed to post any content on, not any videos, like not a short video, not a long video, not a behind the scenes 7 Supergirls video, nothing. Like we were
So
not
weird.
allowed to upload. And that was part of his weird like control freak rules that he, had. It wasn't always like this. And I think I didn't fully mention that. So it started off completely normal. We were allowed to post whatever we wanted. I used to post occasionally on this channel from time to time. And then I also had a Minecraft channel that I made Minecraft videos on with my friend.
God, I feel like everyone who's a child of the internet went through that stage of making Minecraft videos.
I was allowed to at this point. This was before he started getting super strange and controlling. It wasn't until like 2016 that he made us stop posting on any of our personal channels. Or maybe 2015. I remember I posted a video where I like ate gummy peppers or something on this channel, and he made me take it down. I also posted a video with my friend from swim where we like tried to make like some gross smoothie or something. I don't even remember, but we were doing something in the kitchen, and I posted it and he made me take that down. One, because I wasn't allowed to upload on my main channel, and two, because I wasn't allowed to show my friends other than my designated best friend.
So weird.
So that
Again,
had to come.
so weird that this fucking 50-year-old man is dictating who kids can be publicly friends with. This is not normal.
Them too. And then it just turned into you can't post at all. I don't know if it was like that for girls on the other Sax channels, but I know it was like that for all the 7 Supergirls.
Important to note, Sax channels. There were so many of these channels. We're hearing from one of these people right now, but there wasn't just 7 Supergirls. There was like 7 Gymnastics Kids, which is so creepy, and 7 Awesome Teens, or whatever the fuck. There were so many of them. And if you watch these, which ones were your favorites?
Along with this question, this person asked, he banned any friends other than 7 Supergirls from being seen, but why was the shopping video with my friend Bailey allowed? I posted a video with my friend Bailey of us like going shopping and having a sleepover or something. I don't remember exactly what the premise of the video was. This was also before that rule was implemented. So all of the rules were implemented like over years. So it started off with like no real rules. But as money got involved and he got more and more in control and able to hold things over our head, basically he started creating all of these rules to try to keep the channel image. So that was prior to.
Again, just about control. This doesn't affect... Being friends with people in your real life does not affect anything to do with him making money. He's just doing this to have control over young girls.
His weird freak control arc. Another thing that I kind of think goes along with this, actually someone DM'd me this and I thought it was a good question because I have gotten this before. She said, I need to know how in one video you posted getting your eyebrows waxed, but wasn't that against the rules? Did you get in trouble? I vividly remember this. I did like a day out with me video and I get my eyebrows waxed in it.
She's so young.
Again, this was before the rules, so that wasn't a thing yet. I also have gotten, how is there like a no makeup rule if I've seen you wear...
Also, I know people aren't trying to be questioning here, but it's really weird that people are like questioning whether she's telling the truth. She literally stated in the video multiple times that rules were implemented over the years as he tried to gain more control.
Makeup in videos, because I did videos where I had makeup on. I think I in fact made like I made a video one time that was like natural or made up, and I showed 2 different makeup looks and like had the viewers comment and ask which one they like better. So makeup used to not be forbidden by Ian. Like I said, it wasn't until the sponsors came along that he, I think, realized he could use that as a form of control. Because while it is true that sponsors and brands have guidelines that they would like you to follow to properly, represent their brand or clothing company or whatever it is that you're working with, there is literally no way in hell that any of the sponsors that we had were wanting us to not wear bras and shave our legs and pluck our eyebrows when you're given guidelines by a brand, there's no rule saying that I've ever heard of that you cannot do those things when you're not doing branded content. So every video we made wasn't branded or sponsored. Some of it was just random videos of us. If you were to go back and look, prior to like 2015, whenever the brand trip started, or the 7 Supergirls trips in general started, there was makeup, there was plucked eyebrows, there was, you know, shaved legs, bra straps, like normal shit, right? And then it all like kind of stops.
I also just want to say that I don't think he cared about makeup in earlier days 7 Supergirls videos, because we looked like kids at that point, because we were. It wasn't until we started
him hiding behind the sponsors thing, whether it was creepy sponsors or not, like people literally just sending money to the channel and they want the girls to look a certain way. It's such an important part that he wanted the girls to look like kids forever, even when they were 16, 17, 18. So he didn't want them to do things that those people in those ages would do. So if they're wearing makeup when they're 13, they look like a 13-year-old wearing makeup. He didn't want a 16-year-old wearing makeup and, heaven forbid, looking 16.
to look like teenagers. That started.
Which again just pisses me off, and I've said this in the last 2 videos, to kind of put on these young girls that by the time they're 16, they're too old. We don't even know how much that impacts a person.
Because he wanted to keep us looking like children. So I think that's why that rule really stuck later on, because anything that would make us possibly not look like we were prepubescent, he had a problem with. And when we actually were prepubescent, he didn't really seem to care. Again, super fucking creepy and predatory, but that's how he was. So
obviously, is this something like any of the viewers would have noticed? Probably not, because 1, most of the viewers were kids, and 2, it wasn't like things that were obvious to the eye of someone who didn't know they were going on. Sorry if this is triggering, but did you have to meet a certain weight or height requirement to go on camera? Also love you too. Love you too. So not specifically. And what I mean by that is there wasn't a specific height or weight that you had to be. However, if you were a specific height or weight, he would give you shit about it. Like I mentioned in my last video, he gave me shit about being skinny. He body shamed me. I know that I was not the only one that experienced some form of body shaming. Height is a tricky.
Why is this 50-year-old man giving young girls shit for their weight? That has nothing to do with the brand at all. It's just so fucked up.
Question, because technically no, but he actively made me try to appear shorter when we were on trips together, because all the other girls were much shorter than me, minus Emily and Catherine. I'm 5'10", so like I'm a tall bitch. Whenever we would be in like a group picture, he would tell me to slouch or bend my leg or make myself appear smaller, because he claimed
this is so irrelevant and just makes these girls feel bad about themselves.
That my height aged me out. This was a term he loved. I now know that, you know, this ages you out is code word for something about you is not, you know, meeting the requirements for the weird fetish I have where I infantilize you. He would kick people off of the channels in general if they didn't meet the look. This was another term that he liked. You don't meet the look, or she doesn't meet the look. I'm not sure what the look was. Again, childlike, like a little girl. I don't know. Have you thought about uploading your old videos on your channel so you can make money from it? Yes and no. As I was saying earlier, I want to move on from it. This is probably the last time I'll ever really talk about 7 Supergirls. I'll mention it. I'm never going to go into depth like this again because I don't need to. And plus, people have already re-uploaded them on the internet. And I don't really want that to be what this channel is, you know?
Which is also super upsetting that people have uploaded the videos of her as a kid and are profiting off of them. It's super exploitive and super wrong.
I want to have my channel reflect.
They should all be taken down.
That's not something I really am interested in doing for.
Also, who's
money.
uploading
Were any
them?
of the girls mean? Not really when I was on the channel, no. We were all friends, and honestly, we were all kind of going through the same thing and dealing with this absolute disgrace of a human being, man. So we were all kind of there for each other, and no, there was really no cattiness between the girls, especially that like OG group. How would he react to?
Which is crazy considering that the kids were more mature than him and he was pitting them against each other, and this one's more popular, this one gets more views, but yet the kids involved were the ones that were being more mature.
Relationships, like romantic ones. This person asked like 3 questions, so I'm gonna go by one. I don't know, because I was not ever in one while I was on the channels. I don't know if other girls were. I can't remember. I don't think they were allowed to post about it if they were. That's a guess because I never experienced it personally, but I'm pretty sure if they had, you know, a partner, they were not allowed to post about it on social media or share it at all. Would this have been different in earlier days? Probably, but in the last couple of years when the rules started, definitely you would have not been allowed to post if you had a boyfriend or girlfriend. Definitely not. No way in hell. If we weren't allowed to have friends, no way we would have been allowed to have partners. Were the sponsors even real? How did he manage to create this brand and use the sponsors as such an excuse? I said this in my last video. I think the sponsors were real, at least at a point, but I don't know, because if he was lying to us, we'd have no way of knowing.
And again, sponsors could literally just be people, creepy people, sending money to him to make the girls do certain things.
Trust me,
it doesn't have to be like a HelloFresh.
Ask him. He was able to use them as an excuse because we never spoke to the sponsors. So he was the owner.
Also, these channels were in really the early stages of YouTubers making money. So that's also an important part of context.
The channel.
Here.
He was the one running it. Any brand negotiations or sponsorships deals that were struck went through him. So he was the one communicating with the brands, emailing back and forth with them, et cetera, et cetera. We never talked to, and neither did our parents, the sponsors. Everything was pitched to him, and then he brought it to us once the deal was finalized. So we didn't know whether or not the sponsors were actually putting down these rules or not. You know, we had nothing to go off of but his word. We didn't really start to get suspicious of them having certain like rules for the videos until they got really weird, to the point that 2 and 2 was put together and common sense was used that this was definitely not a sponsor thing, but an Ian being a weirdo thing. How did he get all the money to fly everyone? The channel. YouTube channels receive ad revenue. So every time an ad plays on a video, the video makes money. You also have to keep in mind, 7 Supergirls was not his only channel. He had all of the Sax channels. So Sax stood for 7 Awesome Kids because I think that was the first channel he ever made, if I'm not mistaken. What? And then somehow that became the umbrella term for all of the channels. I'm not sure why, but that's what stuck, I guess. He had like, I don't even remember the number, but I think like 9 channels. 9 different.
And it's also crazy that allegedly he entered the US without ever declaring that he was making this kind of money on these trips.
Different channels, all producing.
Which pisses me off because I had to spend a shit ton of money to get a fucking visa to come and do these shows.
Revenue. And most of them had a good subscriber chunk.
Someone is smoking weed. Oh baby, I fear I'm in New York. I'm about to get contact high.
Like, well over 100,000. Most of them had way more than that. So let's take a hypothetical. Say 7 Supergirls, and this is a random number. I have no idea how much the channel made in a year. I only know what I got paid before someone's like, holy shit, that, like, I don't even think this is probably true. I'm just giving you a random number. Say 7 Supergirls, which had, I think, 9 million subscribers at its peak, made $1 million in a year. Okay, that's a lot of money. He paid us monthly, so every month at the end of the month we would get our check as you would at, you know, a normal job. He was taking a cut of all of our pay. I have no idea how big that cut was. If he's splitting all that money between all of us, he's keeping a cut from all of those channels. So if he has another one with 2 million subscribers, it's making so many thousands or whatever. He's keeping a cut from all those channels. So he's using all of that revenue to book these trips and fly us out. But most of it he was pocketing. Does Ian still bother you or any of the other SSG girls about the vids you've made about it since the channel was taken down? No. We have not heard from that man. Also, when he got arrested, I'm pretty sure there was an order put in place where he was not allowed to have any contact with anybody who was a minor. I don't know that that's still in effect.
It
That was
better
years
be.
ago. It should be. He has no contact with any of us. He has no way to contact any of us. I don't think he would. What was the experience of telling him that you were leaving the channel like? This is actually so funny. So when I left the channel in 2017, I was so done. I didn't even tell him. I had my mom tell him, and I told her to tell him that. I think he asked why I wasn't the one talking, and she was like, oh, she didn't really want to talk to you. That was my diva moment. I was like, I don't need to tell you. My mom can do it, and I'll never speak.
Also, what makes me really sad is I think in her original video she was like, I left on like my 17th or 18th birthday, and she was like, and that was my birthday present to myself, that I was allowing myself to finally be done with these channels, which is so fucking sad. Stop working these kids, number one, but then number two, they're not only working for you, but you're being incredibly abusive and creepy towards them.
Speak to you again. Set up a call with him, told him on the call, we're leaving, bye-bye. And that was that. Someone also asked if he was sad when any of us left or was angry about it. He literally did not care. As I said, He thought all of us were replaceable and that the channel would be fine without us. Like, he was so convinced that.
Such a huge ego, considering the people were watching for the girls, not the creepy man that was behind it, because most people didn't even know there was a creepy man behind it, because he would front it with, like, a woman or something.
Even if we all left, there would be no effect on the channel's views and he'd still be making all his money. Which is so funny to me because people watch the channel for the girls on the channel. They're not just watching it for shits and giggles. Like, I literally don't even know what he meant by that. That's literally just like, that's
Again, it's just like an ego thing where he was trying to be like, if you leave, I don't even need you. Yeah, baby, you do. You're going to prison.
I don't understand. That's basically just kind of like common sense, I fear. But clearly he didn't have any of that, so. No one liked him, he smelled bad, he had no common sense, and he's a fucking creep. Like,
double whammy, mama.
Like a struggle. Do you ever wish that SSG wasn't part of your upbringing, and do you think that you would be better off mentally if you hadn't been in it? Obviously, it has affected all of us mentally, I'm sure. I don't know that I'd be better off mentally. I mean, things happen in people's lives that shape them into who they are, and right after I left, I didn't even really process it because I was just so happy to be done with it. It wasn't until way later that I really.
There must also be something really, like, cathartic. Is that the right word? I don't know. I'm not that clever. About being able to be on your YouTube channel that you once weren't able to post on, talking about this to the audience that watched you. And everyone gets it, everyone's older, and I'm really happy for it, and I'm grateful that these girls are able to finally speak out.
They realized how messed up it all was. I moved on from it very quickly. I also, like, refuse to let that man affect my life. He's broke, I'm up. He's broke, I'm up. Did they treat any of the girls better than the others? And if so, how did it make you feel? Yeah, definitely. I would even say I was treated better, which might sound crazy after watching, you know, everything I just told you. This was the thing about him. You had to walk.
Well, again, she was the face of the channel. She literally was the face of the channel.
On your tiptoes. Like, it was so hard to be on his good side. Any girl who would defy more or not follow every little rule or do exactly what he wanted was in the doghouse. It took like one slip up, basically, for you to be on his bad side. And that's what ended up happening to me. I definitely think there were other girls who dealt with
literally pre-teen girls having to tiptoe around a fucking creepy 50-year-old man.
Who's
making so much money off of it.
I guess I'll call it even worse. Looking back, even though I do think we were all there for each other, I wish we would have stood our ground with him more and stood up for.
They were kids. We're literally talking about like 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. Like, it's on him for putting them in that position in the first place.
Each other more. Do you know how many girls painted their rooms teal because of you? Yes, because you.
She did have iconic room tours, and let me tell you something. I wanted my room to be teal as well because of her. This bitch was the trendsetter when I was a kid.
You guys tell me all the time, and I am left with the agonizing guilt of knowing that I forced so many of you to have such an awful, haunting.
It was bad.
Wall color. Every time someone comments on my videos and says my walls are still teal because an angel loses its wings, someone somewhere dies. This is my formal apology. If you are a victim of the teal wall epidemic caused by me.
I almost was, but Sinead said, no, we are not painting your room that ugly color. And you know what, Sinead? God bless you, baby. That's my mom.
Kaylin Wilkins. Diva, I am so sorry. I hope that you can accept this apology that is coming from my heart, because at the end of the day, there's no one who understands the agony of a teal wall better than me. And I'm really sorry that
ugly.
Because of me, you had to go through that. It's just like something I'll never be okay with. You know, it's like, it's a story that just doesn't sit right with me. Were you forced to paint your bedroom walls those colors?
Were you held hostage
also,
to paint
were
the
the
teal?
Christmas halls real? This is something I have gotten so many questions about, which kills me because I did not know this was even a thought in people's brains. I've seen comments on like TikToks where people re-upload my old videos that are like, oh, I was so jealous of her room. And then someone will reply under it and be like, you do know those were sets, right? Those weren't actually their rooms. Like, where are you getting this information from? No, I was not forced to paint my wall.
Not the misinformation around the 7 Supergirls.
Those colors. I almost wish I was, because the fact that I looked at that color and said, hell yeah, that's the one.
When I was a kid, I got my bedroom painted neon green so that I could do easy green screen YouTube videos. Baby, we all went through that period. You know what? I'll take the neon green over the Teal because at least I can say I was ahead of my time and I was kind of brat. 365 bumping that, me at 8 years old.
That's even worse. That's so much worse because I picked the hot pink and the teal. My taste was in hell. Yes, the Christmas hauls were also real. My mom was huge on Christmas, so she used to...
I think the reason people are asking are the Christmas hauls real is, I don't know if anyone is on TikTok and they see Nikki and Gabby, the twins, right? They've been doing this exposed series on their YouTube and they said that they basically would like buy each other gifts and fake Christmas hauls and film them before Christmas and upload them on Christmas so that they would be the first people to upload Christmas hauls so people would watch their videos first, which is so evil genius, by the way. Can't believe I never thought of that one.
To go like all out when we were kids. And you know, damn.
And Nikki and Gabby said their bedrooms were sets, which is why people are asking about the sets.
Well, all my videos have the iconic... I just want to say before this video starts, I'm so grateful for everything I got, and I'm not trying to brag.
She's so young.
I had
here.
really good Christmases as a kid. Very appreciative of... See, I'm doing it. I'm doing the disclaimer. Oh my god, it's so ingrained. Was a pool required because it was supposed to look like summer all the time? No, a pool was not required. I don't think. That was never a rule I was aware of. Did you really do all those activities in your day in the life / routine videos? It seemed like a lot. Now, are you asking me this because of the whole drama with Aspen Ovard about how she said that lifestyle influencers lie in all their routines? Are you trying to catch me in a lie? Come on, I just did my 7 Supergirls tell-all video. I can't make an apology video next. I would say most of it was pretty truthful. I can't really think of anything that stands out in my brain that I like lied about. Have you ever met him?
Also, it's not out of the common that YouTubers fake day in the life videos because they're trying to get content. You know what I mean? Not everyone does all the things that lifestyle YouTubers do in a day, so I believe most of it is fake.
Is meaning Ian, meaning the owner, meaning the Riddle Man's wife. Where was she? He didn't have a wife. He had an ex-wife, I think, that his child was from. He did not have a wife. Who the fuck would want to marry that? You know? Just kidding! Were the SSG moms like dance moms? Honestly, no. Everyone's mom was so sweet. I could totally see how that could happen. I guess I'm thinking dance moms as in like drama between the moms. Were the moms like stage moms kinda? Sometimes. Like, but I feel like that's the nature of what we were doing, if that makes sense. But definitely no like mom drama. If there was that, I would have loved like a 7 Super Moms spin-off channel.
That's the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, baby.
Where we saw like the behind the scenes of the mom drama, but unfortunately there wasn't mom drama for that to happen, so it's unfortunate for me because that would have been fun. Did you need to give a statement or talk to the police after the incident? No. I don't know if the girls that were on the channel at the time did. I had been off the channel for over a year. Did you ever think filming the Susie videos were cringe? They were always my favorite videos. I think you're talking about Shy Susie. Honestly, girl, when I would like meet somebody or make a friend and I would tell them what I did and about YouTube and stuff, if they didn't know, I would literally be like, don't watch my videos. Like, don't watch my videos. They're made for children. Mostly when I got older. When I was younger, I didn't care. I didn't think they were cringe.
This also makes me really sad that she's now 24 and people have re-uploaded the videos of her as a kid and she has no control over that and people can find those. It's like, get those, like YouTube should be taking those videos down.
But when I was like 16, 17 and making those types of videos, I thought all of it was so cringe. I was so embarrassed. If he would have had the channel grow with us and the themes that were sent out every week start getting more and more mature, like my makeup routine, I don't know, my back to school, high school shit, I don't know, like if he would have made the channel grow with us as teenagers.
But he just had this infantilization of all of these girls and wanted them to appear or be as young as possible, which is why everyone was replaceable.
It would have been relatable for the people who are watching us who, newsflash, were also growing up. There's obvious, clear reasons why he didn't want that. So, would you join SSG again if it's hosted by a different person? No. No.
What
I
kind
don't
of
know if you're
question is
asking
that?
if I would go back in time and join it again if it was hosted by a different person or if now. I don't think I'd ever do something of that sort again. If I could go back in time and it was hosted by a different person, maybe. It would just depend on a lot of factors. I've always wondered how you started editing your videos. Did your parents help you? I literally just like learned by doing it. I learned the basics kind of by myself. And my
They had
mom
these
helped
kids
me. She didn't know how
working.
either. We kind of just played around until we figured it out. Did filming a new video every week cause constant burnout, or were there some occasional enjoyable moments? There were occasional enjoyable moments, like the last 2 years.
Occasional enjoyable moments. He had these kids burnt the fuck out. And they're also doing school at the same time.
Years of me being on the channel, constant burnout. I never wanted to film when the time came. Unless it was freestyle, because then I kind of got to have some creative liberty over what I was doing. I never missed a video. In the whole 7 years, I uploaded
Wow.
every single Wednesday. I never missed a video. I was super sick filming multiple times. I remember I had like the stomach flu and I was throwing up between takes, like violently throwing up. No matter what, I made that video. No matter how I was feeling. I remember one day I was sobbing my eyes out.
Because he was also dictating their paycheck based on how much they worked for him, which is just so gross as well.
And burnout at the end, like super bad. I dreaded it every single week. It's because I was so much older than I should have been making the kinds of videos I was, and because the owner just like sucked the life out of it. Did it come to a point where it started to affect your growth of becoming / being a teenager? Definitely. Not being able to express myself how I wanted to, cut my hair, pluck my eyebrows. It seems small. Wear makeup. Like, it seems little.
Because again, I will always say this, that your teen years are so transformative, and people don't give credit enough how hard it is being a teenager. And people always like, well, when you grow up, you'll go through real life things and you'll realize, no, being a teenager is fucking hard.
But in the grand scheme of things, it did definitely affect me because that's all I wanted to do when I left. I remember the video I posted on this channel the day I left 7 Supergirls. The first clip is literally me chopping off all my hair and waxing my eyebrows. And I did that just to like rub it in. So unserious. But I was kind of funny for that, not gonna lie. But definitely made me feel like I was stuck and couldn't truly be a teenager. Final question. How have your thoughts on kids on social media changed after going through everything? I gotta take a sip.
This is my favorite topic.
Children on the internet is never a good idea. This is my opinion. As someone who
Speak on it, sister.
was a child and grew up on social media,
This is the perfect person to be hearing from. All these people that like are family channel defenders, here you have someone that is going to be your kid one day.
literally grew up 10 years old to 17. And ever since then, there is no scenario where I think that is a good idea. It's so
And keep in mind, these family channels are from before 10 years old.
unsafe. Like, if you are going to be putting children on the internet in any form, it has to be done so carefully with so much put in place to protect their safety. That was not done on 7 Supergirls. I do not believe children have any business being on YouTube. I do not think we need to be encouraging children to make YouTube videos. I don't care who it's owned by. I don't care if it is owned by all women and parents. A child cannot consent to being on the internet. I auditioned for 7 Supergirls.
God, this is so fucking wonderful. You know why? Because people will always be like, Adam, stop speaking on other people's family. Fuck you, bitch. So I don't know why I decided to just... Literally, you're hearing from someone who was posted on the internet from the time they were 10 to 16. Imagine being on that from 1 to 10.
I wanted to do it, yes. But at the same time, I was a child and I shouldn't have been out there for the world to see, because there is a reason that when children are posted on TikTok, there's a sinister amount of saves on videos of them doing something seemingly innocent. There are weird people out there. There are weirdos. And I have had the unfortunate experience of dealing with one up close and personal. Anyone who has should also agree with me. I said this in the video. 7 Supergirls was not only an unsafe situation because of who ran the channel. Yes, that was most of it. A big part of it. However, anyone can find you when you are on the internet. You are out there. You have put yourself out there. If you were putting a child out there, anyone can find your child. Like, what you put on the internet never goes away. There are videos of me as a child, God knows where on the internet, and I can do nothing about it because it is out there. Do you understand that? Like, I posted a video saying my whole childhood is plastered on the internet against my will. And everyone was like, how is it against your will if you auditioned? Yes, I did audition. But
Oh my
I
God, just
also
victim blaming.
was 10 years old when it started. I was 10. Do you know how little that is? Like, you were in elementary school when you were 10. This is what I looked like, bro. Like,
hi, my name is Kaylin, and I'm 11 years old, and I come from the USA. And this is my audition for the open auditions on SAK's Unleashed.
that's a baby. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I had no idea my whole life would be out there for everybody to see. I could have never anticipated how much the channel was going to blow up. I could have never anticipated the super strange, scary men that would stalk me and put me in dangerous situations and find out where I lived. It was not as common knowledge as it is now about how dangerous the internet is, especially for children. But now, that is common knowledge.
And if it's common knowledge and you're still choosing to do it to your child, you're a bad parent, or you're a bad guardian, or you're just a bad person. Oh, this pisses me off so much.
If you are a parent, please, do not put your child on the internet. If you are a child and you are watching this and you are thinking of putting yourself on the internet. Please wait until you're older, like please. I am telling you this from someone who experienced all of the horrors of it. The internet will always be here. If you dream of becoming a YouTuber, do it when you're older and can protect yourself. It's one thing when you're an older teenager and you have some awareness of what is going on. I feel like if you're 16 and you're making videos, there's a big difference in that than when you're 10. 7 Supergirls never should have happened, and if it did happen, it should have been a controlled situation with a lot of laws in place to protect us, and it was not. I don't think there's any
And if you're using, there's no laws as a way of continuing to do it, you're a fucked up person.
reason that we should be exploiting children or profiting off of children. There's like no scenario where I think it's a good idea. And that's my 2 cents on it. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope if there was anything that went unanswered, this video answered it for you. I hope this gave you all closure. I know it kind of gave me closure in a weird way.
Oh my god, well, shout out to her. And again, wow, what an important ending that was in terms of speaking from someone who was posted, don't do this. I just don't know how people defend it anymore. Well, shout out Kaylin. I really enjoyed deep diving into this, and it's great to see that she's doing well. Again, as someone who watched her when I was a kid, it's weird, like us being a similar age now, but just don't post kids online. As simple as that. Really, really, really as simple as that. All right. Well, first video in New York, everyone. Again, tour is happening in a couple of days. If you're in Brooklyn, Chicago sold out, Seattle, LA, Dallas, London, Dublin. Link down below. Please get your tickets. Also, Patreon link down below. A lot of videos over there. I will see you all in my next one. And goodbye.